Hello, and welcome to my OTSL game in the semifinals against BHU, who I'm facing now with the USSR after having defeated him in the previous game in a pretty unfair and short game. There was not much he could have done to avoid that fate. However, this time my hand is not very promising, so hopefully the game will be a little bit more equal. Having that said, of course, I hope I will still manage to win. We'll see about that. Very sneaky. Looks like Marshall. It basically has to be Marshall. Or it's like Perch into Marshall or something. And it's still captured Nazis. Yeah. Okay, so Europe is gone. For good. Quitting Iran with Kamekan is basically 50-50 of kicking him out of the country. So it's not a great chance. I think this is a really smart placement of units, of influence points. I don't expect him to have a Middle East scoring, so maybe I don't have to take Iraq. I could start with Afghanistan. I don't know if I can waste ops for the non-battleground countries like that. Okay, I think I need to roll for Iran. I mean, I don't need to, but this is the best shot I have. And 4 is a fine result. It's enough to kick him out. So I'm glad that worked. If not that, then probably independent threats to Iraq or Afghanistan or South Korea, but getting a successful coup in Iran with Comecon just solves a lot more than just taking Iraq or South Korea myself. Of course, now if he has Korean War, he may event it, and that would be problematic. But it's not necessarily the case. Okay. If he coups Iraq to lower the DEFCON, which would be reasonable, I don't want him to kick me out of there, so I will retake the country. And if he somehow came up with the idea of headlining Marshall despite having Middle East in hand, then I will grab a presence there at least. In the worst case scenario, I'm kind of planting the idea of me having Middle East in my hand, so he may be tempted to overcommit to the Middle East instead of spreading in Asia or something, which wouldn't necessarily be wrong, but the less he knows, the better are my odds of realizing my goals. Now, there's a lot to be said about the goal event here. But regardless of what I'm going to do with the goal card, I will start with Truman, and I will at least enter South Korea. Because after Truman, I don't have access to Italy anymore, and with Italy not being properly overprotected, it gives me a lot of, let's say, threatening power to at least have access to the country, which makes the goal a really flexible, useful event. It breaks France, it gains me access to Algeria, it gains me access to Italy. And although I could have headlined him instead of the scientists, I would have to kick myself out right after with Truman, so I think it's better like this. I could also try to hold onto defectors until after their shuffle, but that remains to be seen. So that's surely the case, and that's surely the case. Do I care about him having access to Lebanon? Probably not as much as the UK thing, so let's kick him out of the UK. Now he will just be forced to repair France and UK, so this is fine. He clearly doesn't have Europe scoring, clearly doesn't have the Middle Eastern scoring, he probably doesn't have Asia too. Alright, now we're facing kind of a deadlock. Going to Afghanistan gives him a surprisingly good coup target. Going Malaysia is fine here, however, the safer option would be just to go for South Korea some more. I think I like just putting another influence into South Korea. Romanian abdication is not a card I wanna hold, and it's a card I have to play sooner or later, so I can just as well keep waiting for him to decide what he wants to do with DEFCON and his lack of mill-ups. And our 4-up, this is very strong for him. Yeah, this looks reasonable. The factors are in the pack. I think in the pack is better. Do I go for the goal now? I think I do. Sure. I will just event the goal. It's not obvious to me if putting 4 into Thailand is better than putting 3 into Thailand. I think there is a chance that he just doesn't have a playable 3-up, and that's why he decided to put all 4 into Thailand. Okay, so now this is interesting, right? Because now Thailand is at 50-50. And it forces him to give up on mill-ups if I don't roll really shitty. Oh man, okay, this is gonna be a really luck dependent roll. I mean, like every roll, but this is a big one. It's basically 50-50 on Thailand. But I think I should take it. Like the alternative is this, but this just gives him more coup targets. Yeah, I think this is good. Oh, thank god, okay, that was a huge roll, that was really important to hit. The thing is that if I don't lower the DEFCON, he created a good coup target for himself in form of Vietnam, and France is like hanging anyway. If he wants to take France now, it's fine, he's free to do so, but then he loses like 3 VPs. If he spaces socialist, he still loses 3 VPs and he hasn't even taken France, so this is like pretty brutal for him. This is again a very shitty hand. However, it has Europe scoring, which I am free to immediately get rid of before anything silly happens in France. So that's something, I guess. CIA is shit, but at least it won't kill me with DEFCON. Middle East is bad too, actually, but I will probably get away. I will probably get away with some form of a draw, maybe slightly favorable towards my opponent. This hand is so bad that Purge doesn't really I mean, it's annoying. Yeah, sure. Yeah, purge is still bad. CIA and blockade don't react to it, but of course, what's really visible here is lack of decal, lack of destall, lack of purge, lack of NATO, lack of nuclear test ban. All the best cards are absent from this hand. It has basically no value. So I guess it's rolls versus cards so far. Also, the only good scoring, which is Asia, is not present here. Him having China is also annoying because now blockade cannot force him to discard destall. He can technically discard something else and then hold discard until after reshuffle. So that's another annoying thing, but that's just my decision about the coup. This is really, I mean, yeah, it's just all shit. It's just all bad. So if I give him the CIA, I have to lower the DEFCON now because otherwise he just coups Thailand with China and it's absolutely not acceptable. If I coup Libya, I will probably fail, and if he coups it back with Fidel, suddenly CIA becomes unplayable. I don't like that. But isn't it better than just giving up the CIA? I think that as long as the CIA is not a guaranteed DEFCON card and it's kind of dependent on him having Fidel, I may take this risk. I may die to the 5-year plan though. Like, if he has 5-year plan and Fidel, he may kill me. Am I willing to take this risk? If I give him the CIA, he coups Vietnam, probably succeeds. Like, okay, it's 50-50, right? Yeah, it's 50-50 if he succeeds or not, but if he succeeds, it's really bad because he gets lost too. Then I have to coup, like, Panama to protect Thailand, and then he takes Laos and Lebanon, blocking my domination in Asia and getting himself a domination in the Middle East. It's a really bad position to be in. And I don't have D cards, which makes my mid-war vision a bit poor. So what are the chances? It's like less than 50-50 that he has Fidel, another less than 50-50 that he has the 5-year plan, and he also needs to not hit the CIA with it. So it's like 20% that he can do it, and it's not necessarily the case that he would do it. I think the better play here is just couing Libya with the Warsaw Pact. Okay, he doesn't coup at all. This is reasonable. I think I'm giving up Norad here. This is annoying because now if he takes Canada, he can break Thailand with China and take it. But like, what else am I going to do? I don't have a 2-up. I could give up Laos, but that's bad. Like, do I give up Thailand anyway? Like, if I do this, in response he takes Canada, and then I don't coup, I just drop Middle East. The chances of him having another 4-up are not zero. Okay, you know what? I think it's fine. I mean, it's not fine. It's really bad. It's dog shit. But Europe is the only scored region, and if he's going to invest in a European non-battleground just so he gets the NORAD bonus, I'm kind of fine with it. I don't like it, of course I don't. But I think that's the best move I've got in this position after getting a shitty hand and getting parsed. I don't think there's anything better to do. Because like if he gets Laos, then there's again no way that I get an Asia domination, so I can just as well. Okay, this is not the worst thing that could have happened. Now I'm choosing between the CIA and the Middle East. So I think I'm going to go for the Middle East first. Just because if he had Fidel, he would have used Fidel instead of Olympic Games now. So I'm kind of assuming he doesn't have it. So I will be able to get away with the CIA, fortunately. Interestingly enough... Oh, actually, it's not that obvious that he would be able to equalize Asia if he wanted to. I mean, no, okay, he would be able. Like, if he plays a 3-up into Malaysia, Indonesia, and Philippines, he equalizes it, and I don't have a 2-up to regain that domination. But that's still favorable towards me, it's 2 VPs, so... Oh hey, he goes for it but decides to overtake me in Laos. Interesting. Not sure why. Maybe there's a point to it, but I don't see an obvious answer to that. Let's make sure I don't die. Yeah, sure. Interesting. I wouldn't assume he would do that. Like he could have broken me in North Korea. He could have just played a 3-up. Maybe he has decall and distal and wants to hold both, so he assumes he's gonna play the China card anyway, which would be really, really sad, but very much possible. However, even in that scenario, I think there is a case to be made for breaking North Korea. Maybe he's really weak and he's scared that I may have Asia scoring. So he wanted to immediately and like unavoidably in a way get Asia drew, so that could explain it somehow. Okay, now it's between Iran and France and Algeria. It's probably Iran. Okay, so he had a 3-up. I kind of want to hold on to Indo-Pakistani war for as long as it's possible, so I will start with eventing blockade. Since he already knows I have it, there is not much point to hiding it. He probably expects me to event it either way, so. With him having played the China card and being able to hold on to the stall anyway, I would probably be tempted to keep it. However, it's not even that obvious, right? Because there are not many cards he may discard. Like there are Nuclear Test Ban and NATO that you don't want to discard, a 5-year plan that it's possible to discard but you still don't really want to, and the only red for 3-up is D-Style. So I think Blockade kind of goes hard here. Okay, I got D-Style, that's nice. I mean, I didn't get D-Style, but I got it back into the deck, which is some improvement. Man, I really don't know here. It's really sad that they have to give up one of those two. Sure, I will keep defectors, but I'm not sure if this is correct. I think this is a really tough choice. I don't know. Okay, so he got decal. He probably got it earlier, to be honest. He probably just held onto it through the reshuffle. Comecon and Containment are both pretty good redraws. Nuclear Test Ban is a nice card to have. Fidel and Nasser are good headlines. I will just go for Nasser. Since I'm present in Iran, there is no doubt that he will have a decent coup target if he needs one. So I can just as well get myself into Egypt before he drops Middle East if he got it. He escaped with Asia already, which is reasonable. Especially with him not having any other obviously good headlines. That means I don't have access. And regions are pretty locked up. Except Asia that just got scored. So I think I will just go with a 4-up. Okay. Because now getting to Panama is a really important task. So making sure that I at least kick him out and almost surely get myself in is, I think, worthwhile. I don't need ops that much. 5-year plan is a good hold card, especially with Europe looking like it does and Africa looking like it will in a second. So Containment is my last AR. And those are harmless. This will probably be vented. I feel like this is correct. So I have like 7 ups. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hopefully, but probably not. 6, 7. I'm running out of places to put ups into. He takes Algeria most likely, so it's more reasonable to go for like Syria, Iran, Pakistan, maybe something in India if he allows that. But okay, this is all of course reasonable. The overprotection in France is, I don't know why. I mean, I this is not a nonsense play. This is of course reasonable, but I'm saying that I don't see the immediate reason to go for it. I will retake Pakistan because sooner or later this will become a good target to put ups into. Even if he has in the Pakistani war, he can just take Pakistan with without worries. So if he wants to roll in the Pakistani war for Pakistan, then he's allowed to. Okay, Arab-Israeli. Oh, close. Okay, I will of course take Egypt here to get a temporary dome and enter India in case I lose in the Pakistani war in the future. Special. Makes sense. Let's event Fidel. He still has some places to put ops in an efficient way into, so I don't think he will be going for Cuba realignments right away. Or that's possible, but I doubt it. That makes sense. No scorings to be seen. Let's maybe do something like this. Now, if he allows me to take Saudi with containment, I will. If he doesn't, I will probably break Libya with containment. Okay. Okay. Good rolls, shitty cards, no access is how I would summarize the early war. I think the US has a slight advantage in this situation, but it's slight. The problem is, the biggest problem is South America being empty, which means that it's all dependent on who gets access first, and the US, in the mid-war, the US tends to get the access first, so I'm not very optimistic about the region, which may be the most important one. This is the worst hand I've seen in ages. I will just go for the Missile Envy. It is of course kind of risky because we will bury you, but the chances of that happening are very, very low. And I need to get some way to play the game. Whereas this hand looks hopeless. The fact that I got OAS is a joke. I got Pana, I got Summit, I got Gunman, I got Kitchen Debates. So I need something. I need something. So I'm kind of just fishing for solutions here with Missile Envy. I think I will be giving up the China card. Okay, Hyundai, like another joke. Well, if I get a blue card with Missile Envy, I get 2 moves in a row, which would be great, because then I could enter Colombia Whoa, holy shit. He got both of those and I get to play the brush war instead of him, but it's just a roll. Wait, this is really weird. Okay. I guess Italy, right? Italy is like worth 6 points at this point. And like, what else would I go for? Algeria? I'm going Cameroon, I think. Okay, let's go Italy. Okay. My rolls are the only thing keeping me alive in this game. I will go for Kitchen Coup of Cameroon. Okay, another good roll. So I guess that's how I can win. Just ignore the cards I play, just perform random coups over and over again and hope that it's enough. Since we're having a coup anyway, I will continue it because I really want to use those one-ups to coup one stability non-battlegrounds in Africa because there's absolutely nothing better I could be doing with them. And with rolls like this, it may just be enough to get Nigeria. Oh man. Well, I cannot defeat that with a roll. I could take Nigeria with the China card though. And hold OAS and 5-year plan. That looks like kicking the can down the road because I will be giving up OAS sooner or later, but it's probably still okay. So the problem with this play is that it of course doesn't immediately stop his domination in Africa, so if he has the scoring he may drop it now. But if I were to coup Sudan instead, he would have just overprotected Nigeria and taken South Africa with a 2-up, and then he has full control of the continent and I have absolutely nothing to do. I could Hail Mary realign Nigeria then, hoping to get access to that country from Cameroon later on, but that looks stupid. Okay, I will be spacing that. My rolls are very stable in terms of them being high. So I guess that's not a reason to complain. Camp David is a bit annoying because Middle East is not... It looks red, but it's not that red. If he gets Israel and then... If he gets Israel and breaks Egypt with this event, it's already like equal. Yeah, this is a reasonable play. I don't have a good response to that, unfortunately. Okay, I guess let's get Central. Okay, he refuses to give up Korean War, so now I will take South Korea. It's not dire because the region is of course scarred, but I'm afraid I lack access to choose the region in which I play. It's interesting that he still hasn't taken Canada control. Damn it. This hand is suboptimal as well, but it has salt. And salt is already a lot. The factors are gone, so I guess I can just salt for something. I would have to lower the DevCon immediately, and also Thailand would be vulnerable. So, do I start with salt? Because what am I picking up? Probably Junta, no? I have to get access, so I'm getting Junta. I could lower the DevCon with Cuban, but that's just suboptimal use of the card. I could score Southeast Asia in the headline phase because colonials are gone, and Southeast Asia is not getting any better. So I could hold 5-year plan and OAS once more with salt. So maybe that's what I'm going for. And then if he flips Thailand, that's no longer a tragedy, that's just sad, but it's okay. And if he gets ABM, then if he headlines ABM, that just sucks. But maybe that's okay. Maybe if he uses it on Thailand instead of Panama. I don't know. I feel like Southeast Asia should be correct here. It risks Thailand against like ABM or something. Fucking Purge. I think I would have preferred the ABM to Purge, but okay. Yeah. Disgusting. Do I coup? I guess I do. Do I coup if I free up? Do I coup if I 2-up? I mean... Okay, this is better evented, so I coup with Willy or with Cuban or with Alliance. Socialist can be evented too, to like kick him out of Greece and Turkey, or... But it's still not very good. Okay, another good roll. It's remarkable how consistent are my hands that are worse than his, and how consistent are my rolls that are very good every single time. Okay, he goes for the China card. Interesting, where? Oh. Here. Well. I guess he's holding Warsaw, because otherwise he probably wouldn't be going for it. He used the China card, so now... now Thailand is not in danger as much. So now it's between salting for junta immediately, or starting with socialists. That's basically the choice I get. Like, what do I even do with socialists at this point? I don't think I do anything. I just hope for Warsaw at some point. But now the interesting part now is that I could wait for him to space Warsaw, so I could salt for it and kick him out of Poland. But I still don't think that's correct. I still think junta is more important. So I could start with South African unrest, but then again, I probably want to get junta before he goes to Argentina, so he doesn't have a chance to go to Uruguay. I hope he doesn't have bear trap. I mean, he may have bear trap, but I hope I don't stay there for long if that's the case. Of course, Europe scoring is now terrible. 6, because he gets an additional point from Poland. Yeah, to be expected after the China play. And that's also to be expected that he goes for that. So now I think I will not start with Junta, I will probably start with Angola. Yeah, I think that's still better than queuing Argentina. Because like to queue Argentina, I would need a7 on the day to take that over. So I think the best I can do here is probably just queue Angola with Cuban. And then whatever he does, just play Junta. If he enters Uruguay now, I can just play Junta into Brazil and to Mexico, and that's probably okay. If he doesn't realign me successfully or get me out with voice or something like that, I will just take Venezuela with socialists, and that will be basically fine. Okay, he goes back. Okay, he fails that, so I kind of have to respond, so I will event this. Yeah, that was to be expected, unfortunately. I will start with Alliance. Another 6. Can't stop doing that even in space. Okay, that's nice. That's a good piece of news. Well, let's go Brazil and try realignments, I guess. Because I like other options. Okay, this turn didn't turn out to be as bad as I thought it would be with my hand under purge. That's of course partially because I rolled a4 with Cuban Missile Crisis in Angola, followed by a... I rolled a4 with Willy Brandt, followed by a4 with Cuban Missile Crisis, so that was again an example of dice bailing me out. And the map doesn't look very bad. Asia will be basically equal. I mean, we'll technically have a draw there, but I will get some VPs from controlling more battlegrounds. In the Middle East, the situation is similar and maybe even a bit better, but it's more volatile for sure because Muslim is still in the deck and Sadat is still in the deck, so it's hard to say, but it's probably favorable towards me, or at least it's not favorable towards him. Europe is really bad. But it could change if Warsaw Pact comes back. South America is basically equal, and it depends a lot on probably Panama Canal and ABM, mostly ABM. And Central looks really decent. Central looks very solid. Okay, that's scary. Okay, it doesn't anymore. South is gone. So I'll probably be trying to coup Argentina. So, okay, first of all, thank God that I'm not getting purged this time, because that would have been a joke. Second of all, this is a really, really hard hand to play. But I get to discard South America scoring if I don't get access to Argentina. Maybe. So the biggest threat here, of course, is him bear trapping me on AR7. 6, on AR6, my AR7, right? That would force me to drop South America scoring and remain in the bear trap. That would be like a tragedy. But I don't think there is really anything I can do. Like, the best I could do to guard against that would be to just... Like, what? Headline South America scoring now? The question is, like, what else do I headline? What do I even do here? I cannot really go for the Olympic Games, especially with Grain in the deck and him seeing my headline. This is tragic. You know what is the best play here? It's probably the OAS. OAS is the best play here. As silly as it sounds. So here is the thing. First of all, I'm giving up the OAS either way, so I can just as well do it now. Second of all, if he uses the OAS to get Venezuela or Brazil, then he grants me a potentially good coup target. If he doesn't lower the DEFCON, because he may just as well have grain sales and then the whole plan is fucked, but I, well, have to count on something. So if he doesn't lower the DEFCON, then he has a problem because he cannot really go for Venezuela and Brazil without without me threatening to coup it and gaining access to that part of South America back. Yeah, I think this is a fine headline here. And it's also not that obvious how he can leverage that in Central. I mean, he could enter Cuba, but that's pretty dangerous for him. And if he breaks Panama, he needs to use both of the influence points to break Panama. And I guess that works for him. Okay, well, that's very unfortunate. He had the grain sales. There is nothing. Okay, there is nothing I could have done in this case. There is just nothing to do. I don't think there is anything I could have done in this scenario. He just picked the best, got the best headline, picked the best card, rolled enough. There is just nothing here. No response to that play. So I have to drop it now. This is probably... So now I think he has a significant advantage. He's probably going to win this game after what happened now, but I don't know what was the response supposed to be. I couldn't even defend against that voice, really, because I got purged again, so I didn't even have a free up to put free ups into Venezuela there. So I was kind of just destined to suffer like this. Jesus fucking Christ. The only card that screws me over like this. The only headline that does it and the only card in my hand that is this painful. Yeah, and he rolled a 5 in Panama too. Well, Americas are gone. Can I get arms race ready this turn? Probably not. Am I playing the China card this turn? Probably yes. What am I holding? Dag? Kennedy? consistently unplayable hands. Oh man. Maybe the right play was to count on the rolls again and just realign him out of Venezuela and Brazil. 6-1, 6-1 and he's gone. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, there is nothing better to do. I will just fight for Israel. It's probably worth more at this point than South Africa. OPEC. That's pretty sad, but okay. At least that's the only card he got. No, I will take that, sure. Oh, that's a shame. Okay, ABM. Can I get an ABM? Can I get a good hand? There are so many good cards left. Please give me a good hand for once. Well, I get ABM and also the gunman. And he got... The flower power, we will bury you. One small steps. I get UN. He gets Cha and Quack, but he will just space those. Oh, okay, his hand is pretty red, so at least he has some problems too this time. Panama Canal will probably be his headline, or Usuri. The fact that I redrew fucking gunman. I was really hoping for some DEFCON scenarios with this game, but I guess not. Sure. Man. Alright, what is he headlining? If it's Usuri, he's just breaking Koreas probably, or like Laos and Korea. Whatever. If it's Panama Canal, that's useless. So he's playing Usuri, he's breaking Koreas. Or he's playing Panama Canal for nothing and hoping to play the China card and get it back with Usuri, which he will just do. What am I doing here? I'm giving up Shuttle. I'm probably giving up European Unrest too, by the way, which sucks. Spacing Bear Trap, giving up Nuclear Subs, playing Kennedy with UN, playing Gunman. So I could go for Liberation, and in response he breaks Koreas, let's say. And then what? What then? This is not obvious. I guess I'm still cooing. With like Shuttle. Right? I kind of have to coo like Brazil. Maybe Argentina. And then ABM for another one. Maybe Brazil, because then I can ABM for Venezuela and kind of try to get a hold of at least one half of the continent. Maybe that's the best way to go about it. So what does Liberation achieve? Okay, I think Liberation is probably better than Gunman. Unless I really want to know the two cards he has. One card he has that I don't know of. That's probably not very, very valuable. Also, oh my god, also Che is so worthless here. Jesus. So bad. So Che is actually not a problem for him. So he can self-quag, but he'll probably not do that. That's okay, so his hand is not even that problematic. His hand doesn't have actual problems, like almost none. Especially with Usuri. Well, but he doesn't have a good headline. Sure, let's go Liberation and see what happens. I don't know, it again depends on the rolls. If I am able to roll very, very high with Shuttle and at least decently with ABM in South America, then this game is really playable. And if not, it looks borderline. Well, okay, maybe not lost, but really hard to pull off. Let's do that. Actually, I will do the reverse, so he cannot retake Panama with Panama Canal. And let's see what the rolls think about it. Okay, they are consistent. They are absolutely consistent. Okay. Well, this is fine. I will take Panama if you offer it to me. You may just go for Korea, one or the other, with China here. I would expect that to happen, but well, now giving up China isn't that good. He doesn't know that I have the lone gunman, right? So, and he doesn't have Usuri, so he probably wants to save his China for later. So yeah, going for flower power is much more reasonable here. Since I'm not holding anything, I will space or something or even lone gunman. I think I prefer spacing. Lone gunman is a good, like, it's a good card to skip a turn with. If he if he events Panama Canal, for example, I may just event Lone Gunman and take Panama or something like that. Now, if he wants to spend the China card to take the other Korea too, I'm actually fine with it. So I didn't react to that. I'm not sure if giving up Panama was necessary. Portuguese, okay. Portuguese is harmless, unfortunately. Very annoying. Also, the fact that he got Quack and he got it after the shuffle is infuriating. But yeah, this is of course a good play. Yeah, he should have done that. He doesn't have a good card to take Panama over with though, so I guess I will at least force him to give up China either ABM now and he breaks Panama. So yeah, I will hope that ABM works. I will go for Argentina here. Okay, the rolls are still the same. Nothing has changed. This is what I call a fair and balanced game. Okay, he gives up China. So that's another good reason to not give him Kennedy. Yeah, sure. Europe is really volatile, but I will kind of trust the Warsaw Pact Richo. So first of all, he would have to get either Brush and hit Italy, or get... even if he gets tear down this wall, it's not obvious if he can get Italy. Like, even if he realigns me out of there, it's not a given that he gets the country itself, so I think that's fine. And... well... And I would also have to not draw Warsaw Pact, so... Europe is probably more stable than it could seem. Now I expect him to Crusader with like Portuguese or something like that. Probably Portuguese and Crusader is the best play he can make. Or queuing Nigeria with Portuguese, that's good as well. It's debatable. Okay, he chose Nigeria, makes sense. Okay, I actually got a decent hand. So, let me guess, I'm getting perched. Okay, this so-called decent hand doesn't have a single good headline. And Missile... Missile. Middle East is not a good headline, of course, because... Shuttle. Summit is a meme headline that I shouldn't go for. Ortega is very useless. Orb Israeli War is very useless too. Olympic Games is also a meme, it can kill me. Glasnost, oh man. Glasnost is funny. Glasnost is interesting. Glasnost gets me 2 VPs, but Glasnost also gives him a coup. I may realign Korea with it, and I have some secondary targets. Going Glasnost into Korea realignments is not the worst thing. It's not good, but it's not terrible, I guess. I guess. It hurts to look at it. Okay, like realistically, can I get something more from the Middle East? Am I going to coup Libya? Realistically, am I going to do that? Because if not, then I can just as well drop the Middle East now, unless I'm counting on him dropping Asia first, I guess. That's like the only scenario, I guess. Because like what else? What else am I gonna do? Because queuing Nigeria is clearly better than queuing Libya, right? How much does voice hurt me? Voice hurts me a lot. The fact that he can see my headline hurts me in general. Hopefully it's over after this turn. I mean the headline peaking, I mean, of course. Also, Glasnost headline kind of forces me to use wargames early, because Missile Envy could finish me if he gets wargames with VP advantage. Okay, I think realistically it's Middle East headline and then queuing Nigeria with Ortega, and that's the game, I guess. That's what we're gonna do. Kinda sucks, but what are you gonna do? The worst thing that can happen is Voice of America, but the chances of him having it are very low. Okay, Europe is very scary. This is like plus 15 for him. This game is very close to ending. Let's go. It would be great to get arms race. He's technically not obliged to respond to this, because he could just retake Mexico with NORAD influence and then like coup back, and then I cannot event arms race, so it's not a guarantee that I will be able to event it, which is a shame, of course. Star Wars has to go to space, of course. I would gladly hold Glasnost so that I can use it after the Reformer, preferably. The obvious problem is that when I use Glasnost, war games are well, vulnerable to the Missile Envy. Which is also sad that, like, if he uses the Missile Envy now, I kind of have to give him the Glasnost, which is not much better, but it doesn't lose me the game on the spot, so. Salt is gone and Star Wars is in my hands, so technically I could be almost sure to be safe from it when I play it. Only like grain sales into Star Wars could stop me. But this doesn't look like a game that I'm winning in the final scoring, to be honest. Like, it gets a bit better when if Asia and Africa get scored, then it's suddenly almost equal. Like, okay, it's not almost equal, it's like 4 VPs advantage for him and like very equalish map. This is interesting. I'm not playing China this turn, there's no way. Do I want to do this? Like, in response he just takes Philippines and Japan. And that's it. Because Afghanistan doesn't grant me anything. And if I'm not giving China, then I don't have places to fight for it. Okay, I guess then I will not commit to Asia this way. I will just event arms race. Because before he gets his own mill-ups. If he has Asia, then he's free to drop it like this for 2 VPs for me. It sucks, but what are you gonna do? I really want to have a shot at realigning him in South America. Do I start with Star Wars though? I don't think so. I think I will start with realignments now. I kind of need to get some advantage in South America. Let's start with Venezuela, I think. Because he has Allende. But well, he's not giving up Allende, right? Well, maybe he is. He cannot space 2 ups. Yeah, let's start with Venezuela, sure. He would be out of Chile. Well, I should have gone for Chile, I guess. I mean, it's not true that I should have gone for Chile, but if I went for Chile, I would have kicked him out. So that's what I was saying. It's still debatable. I'm not sure. Going for Chile is better only in exactly this scenario, in which I remove free influence in 4 roles. So, well, I guess I missed. He risks going into Cuba, but of course that's not a risk that will realistically harm him, because he doesn't know that I have Ortega. Yeah. Let's just respond to this, I guess. Now I suppose he will try going Nicaragua or Haiti. Oh, he had that. Damn. I feel like it was a really good play with the realignments from me, and I'm really sad that it didn't work out. It was also like luck dependent. Also, of course, it was a risk I was aware of. It's just sad that it didn't work. Okay, he had a lot of scorings, but he managed to manage them well enough to not be hurt by it a lot. Only Africa's left. Oh, come on. He needs to cool something. Nothing interesting to be done. Let's just take this. Shit. How do I win this now? The hell do I do? Let's assume Africa is scored. Oh, really? So he has like a nasty card left in hand. Interesting. Okay, that's a better hand than average in this game. Terrorism may be fine. Distal is pretty flexible. Is Distal even good? Well, it goes into Chile and Japan, I guess. It's a good counter against terrorism. 5-year plan is bad. Terrorism is better. Like, terrorism is a good threat since I don't know anything about Iranian hostage crisis. So it may be more beneficial to hold it. I also have a Comecon as a response to Chernobyl, however it's not as good. What do I do with like Distal? I put 2 into Chile and what? 2 into Japan, I guess. As I said, I don't think there's anything better. And I call Algeria. This sucks. Sure. Be right back. Okay, he decides to space it. And I discard some random 2-up. At least it was a playable card for him, I guess. So I guess the biggest swing I can achieve is just going for Algeria and trying to stomp him in Africa. This is probably the best shot I got in this game, so let's go for it. Still rolling high. I kind of have to assume that Africa gets scored. If Africa doesn't get scored, I cannot really win this game, I think. So this is probably the best way to go about it, because now getting Algeria counts double. The worst... Oh, no, ABM is gone, so... Like, colonials would be pretty nasty, but I can respond to that, so it's okay. I feel my situation in Africa is nice. I mean, it's obviously it's good. You can see that, but I feel it's like pretty stable. Like nuclear subs is out of the game. He could pay 2 VPs and brush Algeria for a chance of flipping it, but even then it's fine. I feel like there's not much he can do in the long run to destroy my position in Africa, which means that if any of us draws a scoring, it's a real possibility that I will be able to win this game using that as my main source of VPs. I'm not letting him do anything silly in South Africa, of course. Annoying. Acceptable though. Yuri? Really? But you will want to coup, no? That was a bit greedy, but I think it was an overall good decision. It just didn't pay off. Happens. Oh, this hurts. Stop! Why are you doing this? Shit. Okay, I'm gonna give puppets anyway, so let's give puppets now. Oh no, I just realized that there's a nasty card in this game called Eldritch Aims. I really do hope he didn't get Aims in Africa. This is probably not winnable if that's the case. Okay, that doesn't change much. Yeah, it kind of looks like he may have aims in Africa. Shit. I think I could try realigning Venezuela once more. Like, going for Colombia is a good setup, but he wants to coup anyway, despite Yuri, I think. Well, I could just take Peru, no? Maybe I just take Peru here. And then Venezuela is a great secondary. Sure. Let's try it. Oh, man. No aims? Please don't have aims, bro. Whoa. Okay. Oh my lord. Okay. This is tragic. Frustrating. So what's your last card? Africa scoring? Maybe? Please. Pretty please. No! Okay, this is way worse than Africa scoring. Ouch. Okay, thank God for that. But... Man. No aims and no Africa. Where's Warsaw, which is something. There's Muslim, which is not bad. Pershing is really whatever. Okay, okay. He has to have Africa, right? Let's be realistic. He has to have Africa and not have aims. That's the condition. So what are we doing? Hey. So it's like 15 for me. I mean, it's 11. I mean, what am I saying? It's 11 for me, so it's like 5-point advantage for him, 0. That will be around equal. Well, okay, it looks like I may win this game if he has Africa with no aims, and if he has no Africa or he has Africa and aims, it's really tough. Can I even like win it if he has it? If he has aims in Africa, let's say. Like, okay, Europe is defensible, so let's say Europe will be a draw if I use Warsaw late enough. That's not even necessarily true. He may just retake East Germany after I event Warsaw, so I would have to like break East Germany with Muslim and then event Warsaw. I have to defend against missile envy with Muslim headline, so let's go for it regardless. Annoying. Like, okay, if he breaks Africa a bit with it, and then scores Africa regardless, I think it's still playable. I may get some significant advantage in the Middle East. Now he can like kind of get back there with Tunisia play. Yeah, he saw it, unfortunately. Yeah, probably the best I can do here also is to Kuzair. Which sucks. That is probably true. Alright? Because if I don't, he just does. Sure, that's Kuzair. That will probably be the only coup this round from me. Although that's always like, you never know what will be the necessity in a second. Now Norad isn't that significant. I guess it goes into South Africa, maybe into Chile, but probably into South Africa is better. He wins in the space roll. By the way. Let's say 50-50. Maybe Pershing was better? But this just loses terribly to Missile Envy, no? So like what Pershing does is basically two things. Because like France and West Germany don't matter at all. What it does is it breaks Canada and Greece, which, well, I guess it does three things. First of all, it grants me a VP, so I don't die to a space roll if he succeeds. Second of all, it turns off NORAD for a turn. And third of all, it denies him a non-battleground in Europe. So maybe it wasn't actually that stupid to the headline. However, like, it's... If he doesn't go to space and succeed, then I guess this was Muslim was better. And if he does, then I guess I should have headlined Pershing. Well, if you want to be outcome dependent about it. It's also really interesting here because, like, if he has Africa and no aims in hand, then now he faces a decision between going with NORAD to South Africa and putting more ops into it and actively fighting for his position in the region, and between spacing a random card in hopes of finishing the game here and now, which may not be obvious depending on what he has in his hand. I think actually that's what he's thinking about. I don't know what other choices he may have. I mean, I guess he could be thinking about Egypt and Libya, but I don't think this is the real choice. I don't think this really matters. But, yeah, that's obvious. Oh, really? He doesn't space? Holy shit! Okay, I'm playing the game actually. What the hell? Okay. Wait, this looks like I can win. So like what? I take that? Maybe I don't have to take Libya. Maybe Libya is not worth that much. Maybe this is better. Because this is, like, South is worth 3 VPs, this is worth like 2 VPs. I mean, this is worth 1 VP if he takes it back. It's worth 2 VPs. The flip on South Africa is worth 4 VPs, but also he needs a little bit more to invest into it. But I still think this is better. I don't need Libya. He may also be really sure of himself if he has voice. It is possible that he just thinks there is nothing I can do to stop him from winning in the final scoring if he has voice, which may be true. It is possible that it's the case. However, I wouldn't be so sure of it. Okay, what about Iran Contra headline? I mean event. Is it good? It's probably not. Okay, I kind of... Okay, if the game continues like that... Like, let's not count Europe for a while. He will be at 10 if I give him the China. That will be equal. 4 for me. 8 for me, let's say. And now it will be a dead draw. And then I event Warsaw. And suddenly I'm like 8 points ahead. Because Europe is a 0 VP swing instead of an 8 VP swing. And then he uses voice. Can he get 8 VPs? Like, if he double breaks Cuba, that grants him 4, and if he double breaks, and he breaks South Africa, that grants him additional 3. Honestly, it looked like he may be able to win with voice somehow. However, it's like so... He has to be pixel perfect about it, and me too. It's really incredibly close. It may turn out that he would win because of this Indo-Pakistani war, which I didn't think would be the case, but it could be just as well. It's not to say that it's all because of luck, of course. My rolls have been incredible this game, but... Well, okay, regardless. I was thinking about it because I was trying to decide whether stalling the game and eventing Marine Barracks bombing is a good play here. Because he would then retake Libya and then I play Iran Contra to Chile. What happens if I event Iran Contra? It affects only South America and it doesn't do it like very efficiently, I think. Okay, I think this is an okay play. Or maybe I can even like do something like this. Because he also needs to get mill-ups. Man. Please just even miss Lenvy, come on. This is too stressful for me. Can it be that his hand is so dogshit that he didn't have a free up to space? Or maybe, okay, maybe he only has blue free ups and he didn't want to space those, so he decided to... So maybe that's what he was thinking about. Marine Barracks bombing is good because it also takes him out of Lebanon. So now if I give him AWAC... Oh, he had that! Okay, he failed. Interesting. This is so interesting. Okay, I need to play this on AR7. Unless Bear Trap kills me. Does it? No, Bear Trap is in the discard. Okay, so... Okay. He will coup. What will he coup? He will coup Nicaragua or Haiti. So I can get ahead by coupping Nicaragua now. I mean Guatemala now. With Kitchen. Is Kitchen better than AWACS? Kind of, I think so. Sure, let's do it. Oh no! That's bad. That's seriously bad. That's seriously bad. Roll A1 too? No, that's not A1. Oh man. Well, I probably lost to the voice. Can I do anything silly in Asia? Absolutely not. It's not even close. Asia is a dead draw and will remain such. If he doesn't have voice, I probably win, right? Oh wait. What if I play China into Panama, he takes it back, and then I use Warsaw, and he takes this back, and this the end of the game. Then he's at 9 advantage, 10 with China. Europe is not that bad, it's 5, so it's 15 for him. That's 0. That's 11 for him, that's 1 for him, that's 4 for me, and that's 2 for me. Okay, so I guess I will assume he doesn't have voice, and if he does, then too bad. But also, if he has voice, he may not be able to respond to my China play. Wait, okay, what if I... No, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, man. No. Do I even give him China? Maybe I just don't give him China. How does this look? I'm switching 3 ops to 2 VPs. That looks like a good deal, no? And he kind of needs to respond to that. The problem is that if he breaks Brazil now, I'm kind of giving up on South America. But if he equalizes it in his last move, then that's still okay for me because he doesn't retake Europe. Okay, I think this is the play. Oh my lord. I had to repair Saudi Arabia, I feel like. Because otherwise he just takes Lebanon and equalizes the Middle East for just 1 up, which is a ridiculously low price. I could have taken Lebanon instead of Saudi, but then it's just... Then I'm spending an op less but getting a VP less, which is just probably a bad deal at this point of the game. So I think this is what I was supposed to do. Man. Incredible performance by him, I think. This game is played pretty well by him. I'm just not sure if it was correct for him to not space socialist here. He assumed he would fail, and it turns out he was right. I think he has voice. I think he does. I don't think you can justify dropping Africa like that if you don't have voice. Because it just looks like you're lost, no? Oh, okay, maybe not. Maybe he hoped I don't have Warsaw Pact. Oh, okay, we'll know soon. We'll know very soon. I shouldn't... I should stop overthinking because he will show his cards in a second. Okay. Okay, he gives up on that. Okay. Wait, okay, should I... Okay, if he has voice, what are his best targets? So, double break Cuba gives him 4. That's probably... No, double break Cuba isn't that good. It gives him 2 only. That's poor. What if double break South Korea, double break Pakistan? Then this will be 5 for him? 6 for him, I think. Because he will have domination, 1 more, and 1 from Korea, yeah. So it would be 6, that would be 15, 14 because I have China, that would be 10, then it would be 3, this will be equal, that would be 5 for him, and this would be 5, that would be a tie. I think that's the best he can do. Then it doesn't matter what I do here. If he breaks Syria... No, if he spends 2 in South America to get 3, that's probably not enough. Okay, wait, let's count it the other way. How much does he need to get? This will be 0 after Warsaw. He's 8 ahead. He's 1 ahead. He's 3 behind. He's 8 behind. He's 6 behind. So he needs to get 6. If he spends 2 here to get 3, he needs to get another 3 with 2. And... okay, I think he can get a tie with voice no matter what I do in South. Okay, overprotecting Chile doesn't give me anything, right? So pumping up Peru is probably just better. I think this is the case, yes. Okay, let's see it. I think he has voice and this is a draw. I think so, but I could be wrong about both those parts. I could be wrong about the part of him having voice, and I could be wrong about this being a draw. Maybe he wins. He can surely draw. I'm almost certain. If he has voice, of course. Uh-huh. Really? Oh, that's just enough. Well, okay, good job. Oh, what a tough game. Yeah, I don't know. That 5-year plan hit with grain sales just killed me. It was still close. On one hand he got Africa, on other he got voice. Well, it was an interesting game. I guess it's 2-2, so the last game of the best of 5 will decide who goes to the finals. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.